This is easily one of the most popular cars in the country. Welcome to the VW Polo. In this review, I go back to my old ways and start driving like a Polo driver again. Sometimes I still think about Boy T. Anyway, in this review, I'm going to drive this car during the day so you can take a good look at it, and then drive it again at night so you can take a good look at its lights. We'll talk about things like practicality and boot space, but the real reason we're here is to find out what makes this hatchback so popular in the first place. We'll get to that. But first things first, allow me to introduce the sponsor of this video. Can you guess who the sponsor is? I'll give you a hint. It's already on the screen. Naked. This video is sponsored by Naked. So when Naked got in touch with me, before they said anything, I said yes, because I'm already a big fan of Naked. We'll get back to Naked a little bit later. First, let's talk about the VW Polo. The model you're looking at is the Polo Life TSI. You can get the Polo Life either with an automatic transmission or with a manual gearbox. The one we're reviewing today is the 5-speed manual. Now, let it be known, VW makes one of the best manual transmissions on the market. Whether it's the Vivo GT, the Polo Sedan, or even this Polo TSI, changing gears in a VW is always a pleasure. But in the case of this specific Polo, there is one disadvantage. You see, both the manual and the automatic come with a 1-liter turbocharged engine. In the automatic, you get 85 kilowatts and 200 Newton meters of torque, but in this manual, you get 70 kilowatts and 175 Newton meters of torque. But don't let that discourage you from the manual transmission. That 70 kilowatts is still more than enough because once the turbo kicks in, it gets going. And I know someone somewhere is thinking, but which one feels faster, this or the Polo Vivo GT? Definitely the GT. That thing moves. It moves. It's only let down by its interior, but nah, that one is the one. Anyway, coming back to this one, the claimed fuel consumption is 5.4 liters to the 100, but during the time I had it, I averaged around 5.6 liters to the 100, which is very impressive, and I'm pretty sure you can get lower figures than that. Well done, VW, well done. Taking a step into the interior, you are greeted by this infotainment screen. You get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I'm happy to see actual knobs for the climate control. Wireless charging is an optional extra, 2 USB Type-C ports, and that is your manual gear stick, which you'll use to change gears. Not only that, you also get a steering wheel as standard. I say this because you never know with VW. I'm just joking. I really like the steering wheel. Very nice to hold, and I'm a big fan of that digital instrument display. All in all, it's a clean looking interior. I have no complaints. The seats themselves are cloth, and someone is there thinking, but I want leather seats. Can you imagine how much more expensive this car would be with leather seats? So choose your struggle. Over there we have Utseapo walking to the backseat of your car. He notices, man, Ulebo is sitting in the backseat of Uspuda's car. Why, man? So he goes to the back to assess the situation and finds out that but he's not gonna mind it now because he just wants to see if this car has legroom. Legroom is sharp. You've got 2 USB Type-C ports. He checks cup holders. There's nothing. But he notices, no, man, this car has a sunroof. No wonder why Levo has been hanging around with Uspuda, man. I should have got a Polo instead of a Vivo GT. As for me personally, I think Ulevo was just tired of winding down the windows in the GT, adjusting the mirrors for Utsep. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my Polo Vivo GT review. I'll leave a link in the description. Coming back to Utsepo, he's still not convinced that this Polo is better than his Vivo GT. So he tells himself, no man, my Polo Vivo GT has a bigger boot than this Polo. He's wrong. It's very wrong. 351 liters is what you get here. He checks underneath and he finds a spare wheel, and we don't know what that is. But all we know is Utsepo is squashed. It's chai baba. It's done. Let's just move on. Let's just close the boot. And Tsepo now realizes he should have just bought a Polo instead of a Vivo. Anyway, we're done with the story for today. To be continued next time, maybe. But what you can do for me this time is like this video. If you haven't liked, please like. If you still haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Support local YouTube, guys. It's the right thing to do. We're still on the road to 80,000 subs by March, so do the right thing. Share the channel with your friends on WhatsApp and TikTok and Instagram, and let them know there's a Mr. How Much on YouTube. Coming back to the Polo, while we're filming, we came across this object on the road. I don't know how that got there, but it's just a reminder that anything can happen while you're driving. And for some added peace of mind, it's good to know that your vehicle is covered. So if you're curious about how much you'd likely pay for insurance on a Polo or any other vehicle, be sure to check out Naked. I've left a link in the description. You can get a quote in 90 seconds. 90 seconds. They're not going to call you. They're not going to pester you. You can just go play around on the app and see how much you'd likely pay for the car you're looking at. But how much will the car you're looking at actually cost you? Well, this manual transmission Polo Life TSI comes in at 391,100 Rand. But to be honest, you won't really want it at that price because it will have a lot of options and features missing. Which brings us to optional extras. Let's start with the safety package. It adds adaptive cruise control, forward collision warning, autonomous emergency braking, a lane keeping system, and it comes in at 13,500 Rand. Second, we have my favorite, the panoramic sunroof for 15,400 Rand. Next, we have the radio composition media, which adds the wireless charging I mentioned earlier. Oh, by the way, those 16-inch wheels are not free. They are 5,100 Rand. You also get the option to add the Comfort Park package. With it, you get keyless start, keyless locking, you've got park assist with park distance control, so the Polo will park itself, and you also get a rear view camera. But these IQ lights, proper stuff. These LED matrix headlamps are worth all the money. Coming in at 16,400 Rand, they not only elevate the look of your Polo, but they're actually very functional. They are bright. You'll see exactly where you're going. But they are not just bright, they're intelligent. They're able to adjust their beams so they don't dazzle other drivers and make sure you still see exactly where you're going and help you identify Utabani walking around in the dark there. So in conclusion, if I could just pick two optional extras, the sunroof and the IQ lights. I mean, look at those lights in the dark. Clean, clean, clean. Well done, VW. Well done. And no, this is not a Tesla Cybertruck, guys. It's a Polo. Now, let's get to our prices. The VW Polo Life, as I mentioned earlier, comes in at 391,100 Rand. But if we add in our optional extras of 66,750 Rand, it brings our new total to 457,850 Rand. On finance, that is 8,951 Rand over 6 years at 12% interest. A full tank of petrol, a lock aside, will cost you 900 Rand. And if you got an insurance premium of 2,000 Rand, it would bring your total cost of ownership to 11,851 Rand. My personal advice to the person watching this, if you really want a Polo Life TSI, just get a demo. You'll get all the options and save a lot of money because 457,000 for a Polo. Guys, if you look really hard, maybe you could find a Polo GTI for that amount, but it's your money. If you want a brand new Polo, that's how much you'll pay with the options. In terms of your service plan, you get a 3-year, 45,000 kilometer service plan and a 3-year, 120,000 kilometer warranty. And this brings us to answer the question which I asked at the start of this review. What makes the Polo so popular? Well, the Polo is just cool. It does so many things right, from fuel consumption to its good looks, the sunroof. It just has a way of making you as the driver or the passenger feel special. Don't get me wrong, this car is expensive, worse when you add optional extras. But because of that feeling it gives its owners, people are still buying them. Go stand outside, you'll count Polo after Polo. Even among the old ones, look in the background, there goes another VW. So yeah, it's a very popular brand. So tell me in the comments, 457,000, are you buying a Polo or is your money going towards something else? Personally, as I've mentioned before, I'd rather just buy a used Polo GTI. You might have to top up the money a little bit, but it's worth it. Anyway, if you haven't seen the story of Boity, I'll leave a link in the description. Tell me though, how do you guys sit like this? Even though I was just filming, I couldn't keep it up for too long. It's not practical at all. And before I forget, I've decided to name this Polo Mandla. It just looks like a Mandla, doesn't it? But before you leave, I just want to say thank you for watching this review. Thank you to Naked for sponsoring this review. And thank you to the first 6 members of this channel, Wabuthi, Mukoni, Velabo, Francis, Joseph, and Seboa. I left you guys a behind the scenes video of the upcoming 70K special. Please check it out. But from me to you, until the next one, take care. it must just be here.